Hello, Leo. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. Leo, this week we're looking at spiritual success and activation. I'm going to use the Goddess Wisdom Oracle deck for you. And then I'm going to get into the, well, that's an interesting combination. Then I'm going to get into the, what is this called again? The shadow, the modern day spellcaster's tarot. I was using a shadowscape. New beginnings with the devil. Oh lordy, does that not sound exciting? So let's see. We're going to look at the area of your life you feel the most disheartened about or blocked in. How this block is shaping the course of your life. What can you activate in your life right now? And how can you address your worries? So Pussycat Nation, let's get started. Excuse me. All right, the area of your life is transformation. So either you're trying to transform something in your life, could be something that you're actually going through, like your transformation process. Maybe you feel like you're kind of like stuck in the exit point of the womb, like in a birthing cycle here, like you're sort of in an in-between energy. Perhaps you're trying to, I wouldn't even say, like there could even be some energies that are new concepts coming in for you, and you're feeling like even yourself changing and shifting with these new concepts also. There could be some really, like, I want to say in some ways it's almost like energetic ideas. It's like these, there's so much light like trying to come off of the top of her head, her crown chakra. It's almost like it's more than she is at this moment in time, like looking at it. So it's almost like there could, New Beginnings was the card. We have secrets at the bottom right now. New Beginnings was the card after the pre-shuffle for you. And you know, like this card feels a bit like that. It's like you're on the cusp even of a new beginning. And I want to say it's almost like there's so much energy of newness, of beginning, like almost starting to come out, but it's not formed into an idea yet, or it's not formed into a direct possibility. How does this block shape the course of your life? Oh, you gotta laugh at this shit, because if you don't laugh at it, you're gonna cry. Humor. You could be, I want to say, I kind of like it in the way that it's coming in, that, you know, sometimes life is just so sad that it's funny, or it's just so ironic that you have to laugh at it. You could be finding some, there could actually even be, you could be opening up a new center of yourself here, like something that's very humorous. You could becoming a bit of a comedian or a jokester in some way. You could be starting to find the lighter side of life as well. Laughter. I mean, I'm hearing laughter too. It's as if this card has come out a couple times. Was it a week or two ago? It was quite profound. Like it was coming out to talk about how to get past darkness, or how to reach through darkness, or I can't even remember the messages now. Something to do with healing. And transformation is a card that often comes out after like some sort of healing process, or it's a cycle that we go through. And humor, to be honest, it's nice. It's really nice. What can you activate in your life right now? Liberation. Liberate yourself. Stand up. Do what you want to do. Free yourself from something, whether these are just outdated concepts that you have about your life or who you are. Maybe it's something that you literally, you know, need to cut out of your life that could be holding you back. It could be some people around you that are quite sensitive, or I don't want to, well, I said it. I wanted to say serious, but sensitive came out of my mouth. So it could be that there are people around you that are quite sensitive right now. Humor is not something that I find that in my channel a lot of times, because I'm kind of one of those, you know what, there are days, yeah, when life is just like, fuck, man. Sometimes you just gotta cry, but then there's times where it just gets to the point like, this is just, you gotta laugh at this shit, because you can't, you have no more tears. You have to start looking at some sort of experience that you're going through with a different set of eyes, a different frequency, a different vibration, a different emotion. And there are times where, yeah, like sometimes you just gotta laugh at this shit. And people will sometimes get triggered. I see in the comments of my own videos, like, how can you laugh at this? It's like, you know what? I have been through some shit in my life and I've learned to laugh at it. But yeah, so if this is one-on-one too, that's harder to deal with than like through something like this, right? Like a social media channel and people are just popping in and leaving a comment and they're being triggered by something, and I'll never interact with that person likely, but these could be people that are like in your life and maybe they are a bit sensitive right now and they're having difficulty with maybe your humor or your lighter side even that you're taking on here. How can you address your worries? Patterns. So there could be, you could be, okay, I want to say that you could be worried about, there's something here almost like trying to be either consciously aware or you are becoming consciously aware of things that you typically do and then where that leads you, the road that you end up when you start doing that. And it's to try to be aware of those patterns. So when I do X, Y, and Z, I end up in A, B, and C. So maybe instead of that, it should be, okay, I'm going to do A, B, and C and end up in X, Y, and Z. And right, like that even just takes you kind of like in the right order. So there could be some things here too, like maybe this card does speak like to me, it's kind of like cutting stuff out. And these things are usually toxic and they're holding you back in some way. And you do have the Devil card at the bottom after the pre-shuffle. So you might even notice like maybe there's certain people that you hang out with or you do things with. And then like you just find the next day or that evening, you're in a shitty mood or, something's just, it's like, notice the pattern in that. So when you go and you do this, when you put your energy over there, oh, look at how that you end up feeling on the other side of that. It's weird. I have the worst tickle in my throat right now. I don't know where that's coming from. Maybe you're having problems with your throat chakra. It's weird. It's like this tickle, like there's nothing there. Secrets, the sun, communication, water, reverence, rebirth. Too many cards in the underline. You guys can't do that to me. Oh, no. It's like the whole deck. All right. I'm going to go with rebirth because I'm kind of feeling that energy here. You've got rebirth, reverence, water, communication, the sun, and secrets. Oh, wow. I love that you have water, communication, and sun together there. It's kind of like the things that, it's like when light reflects onto water, new things are seen, right? We see rainbows. We see different light patterns. We see molecules, dust, things like that we wouldn't typically see. So it's kind of like bringing things into the light. This energy is definitely about bringing things into the light. I feel like there's a lot of light within you that's kind of dying to get out here. There is something major that you need to cut out. I mean, it just could be knowing that, okay, I know, I'm seeing too, like right now I'm seeing like someone going to a gym. So maybe if you go to a gym to work out, maybe you're just left with like, I don't know, maybe it somehow makes you feel low frequency. I could see that. It's been a long time since I've been to a gym, but it always seems like there could be a lot of people there that are very self-absorbed. And I don't mean like into their workout. It's just something there. And maybe there's something like that, like a certain place, and then you go to your parents' place, or you go to your in-laws, or your brother or your sister's house, or you just come home and you're just like not in a good mood, like with this patterns. It's actually just to see. You can identify actually where the worry comes from. if you can start looking at kind of what happens around you and what triggers that. Also hearing with the patterns card is to think about all the things that you've been worried about and how they're okay. They worked out. As I said that, you get the Hermit. Maybe you have a pattern of kind of going kind of back into yourself. Something could be becoming an unhealthy pattern here. Or is to not create the unhealthy pattern. It's almost like, oh, I'm feeling this energy like I need to withdraw, or I need to hold my energy back or protect it. Why? What happened? What's going on? Like, you know, and if you can identify that, maybe you can prevent yourself from getting to that stage. You have the Strength card. So this is the block. The Eight of Cups. And the Wheel of Fortune. So transformation. Oh. You're like this, yeah, this glow, right? Like even look at this egg that's hatching on that little island and it's glowing, like all this energy off of you. Right? It's almost like you're becoming something and you don't know what it is yet, right? Like it's just getting its like energy. It's like extreme and intense energy, but it's not like an identifiable vision. It's somehow kind of still held back within you, but it's, good Lord, it's pretty hard to hold back. I want to say that that could even be the anxiety in some of you. I don't know why I'm saying anxiety. It's like that liberation and patterns energy kind of created that. Humor. Now, this is how the block shaped the course of your life. Oh, this is the King of Cups. The Four of Cups. And the Two of Pentacles. There's a weird glare on these cards that I've never... It's odd. Why is that happening? King of Cups. I want to just say it's like laughing things off here. Trying to laugh some things off. Trying to not take certain things so seriously. Because you have a lot invested in, like, even just yourself. Like, just say, even just yourself. It doesn't have to be something outside of you, but you have a lot invested, even in just yourself here. And then holding back, trying to ground this energy. And it's almost, again, it's like not being able to do something with it. Because then it's like knowing you got to deal with this, you got to deal with that, you got to do this, you got to get that done. Oh, there's this project coming in. Oh, somebody just knocked on the door. Oh, no, the phone's ringing. Like, it's like, oh my God. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. I want to say too, your emotions are becoming balanced here with these cards that are showing up. And humor is coming out as a way to do that for you. Instead of worrying, laughing. But you see, the importance in this is that we've already kind of talked through about, you know, looking at what kind of patterns are happening around me, and what was I doing that is now making me feel like this, or what has happened in the past that could be affecting how I feel now about the way something is kind of unfolding for me. Because when you're consciously aware of it, you're not just like silly laughing, you know, like when we feel anxiety, like, you know, like inappropriate, weird laughing. It's like this laughter, this humor in you comes from intelligence. It's not reactive. It's actually, I would say, consciously deciding to embrace one thing over another. Because, you know, like this energy could be used improperly if you weren't aware of your patterns, you know, and this is somebody who never really sees that, you know, there are points in time where you do need to be serious, or you need to kind of buckle down. But I see that, right? Like this is like balancing, maybe not taking some things so seriously. What can you activate in your life right now? Now you have Liberator, you have the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Swords and the Tower. Wow. Well, this is like, how would I describe this? This is like if you've been following a plan. If you've been following a plan, and I want to say kind of a long plan here, you've stuck to it. And I don't mean you've stuck to it. Well, maybe. We're going to see what patterns are about. There's the breaking of patterns here with the Tower. Maybe you have stuck to a plan and it's time to change it up. But it's like your plan is taking you to exactly where you need to be in a moment in time here. And with this King of Swords, you can see it clearly and you can do whatever you need to do with it with a very healthy and strong mind here. Yes. And we've built up that already with what we've talked about. If it is coming through the way we see it here, this is like making some sort of major change in your life. And it is time to shake some shit up. It could be time to face something. Let's see. Move away from your worries or address your worries here as patterns. We have the Four of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Ah, okay, there's a pattern here of healing and then, okay, here's the pattern. I don't know if this is healthy or unhealthy. We're going to see how this develops because this pattern right here is healing, okay? That's a good step. Healing. And then the next step that we have here is reassessing. What is it that I need to do next? You may not have the answers to that. And I can see because this is kind of like helping you move beyond a worry or anxious thoughts. Because the Six of Swords comes in next. You know what? When you're healed and you're in balance, your next plan is to let the universe guide you. That's it. The universe will continue to take you somewhere. That's the pattern here. Maybe this is a pattern to understand in your own transformation as well. Because I feel like this is kind of like showing us, if the universe was talking back to you, that you have done the work that you were needing to do. Now let me do the work with the Six of Swords. The Three of Wands, the Three of Wands is at the bottom. So things coming in for you. Just manage what's going on around you because things are coming in for you. If you just keep finding even like the different ways that you are healing yourself. You know, maybe you go through stages of just anxiety, and then you go through stages of anger, and then you go through stages of sorrow. Right now, you're at a stage of humor and fun and laughter. That's all. To me, it almost sounds like, right, these frequencies being low and then coming up. And so, because with the Seven of Pentacles, you keep coming up with a new plan. There's something new that I need to do here. That's some deep healing, really. What are you holding back from? There is like something here, I feel like, too, with the Strength card and the Eight of Cups. Waiting for like something to change. It is. It's like the universe does have control here with the Knight of Swords. Well, you know, something that you really want to do. There's a buildup of energy in you. Your energy is building up. It's like revving an engine. What is the Wheel of Fortune that is going to change here? It does too. It looks like you will be going from like 0 to 100. The Knight of Cups and the Six of Wands. So things are going to change here. You're going to have some serious movement of the mind and the heart. You know exactly where, I feel like you know exactly where you want to go, or you know it energetically. You definitely know it energetically. But if there's a place to land it yet, I don't know. Maybe there is for some of you. Humor. This is how shaping the course of your life. You have Justice, the Eight of Swords, and the Three of Swords. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. That's some interesting justice, huh? That's literally how this shapes the course of your life. How it is right now, this block. I'll tell you one thing. It's definitely feeling all things. I want to say this is, there's something here about, you know, almost any level of pain or, I want to say even being like held back or feeling paralyzed by some form of pain here. The way through it is to kind of laugh at it. Laugh at the devil in his face. I don't know. There's like irony. Irony is definitely something quite ironic going on in your life right now. The King of Cups, the Two of Swords, and the Page of Wands. Now that just feels like there's so much inside of you, but how do you even talk about it? Yeah, how do you even talk about how much is inside of you? How do you even express it? The Four of Cups. Oh, the Devil. What is this Devil? I want to say it's kind of on the sidelines somehow in this energy. The Emperor, it's some control. It could be some sort of controlling person. It could even just be an environment that seems like it has control over you, or a particular person. And how do you even just describe how this makes you feel? It's like you actually can't vocalize. There aren't words to describe all of the depth that you have within some sort of scenario in your life here. And honestly, laughter is the way through it. The Two of Pentacles. The High Priestess and the Eight of Pentacles. I get some of the funniest things with some of these cards lately. So this Two of Pentacles with the High Priestess and the Eight of Pentacles, it's almost like watching something remotely. It's reminding me of the Gemini reading. It's so weird. I don't know, what it could be. What is a logical scenario for what this is? Unless you guys are doing some sort of remote viewing, you're seeing something in your dreams. But it's like seeing something that you're not there, but you see it somehow. Now, beyond that, which came in really strong, just looking at the cards for what they are, is I want to say some of you could be juggling some options here in terms of work projects. You might have more than one work project going on right now. And I want to say that something here might be, might actually provide humor or laughter for you. I just can't help but feel how much irony is sitting in this area. It's almost as if, like, let's say you were holding off for the longest time for just the right job for you. Okay, so be careful with this. Don't settle for less than what you are, or less than what you know you are worth or you deserve here, because there's something here that is kind of like, you know, you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, and then you don't get exactly what it is that you were hoping for, so you settle for something less. Okay? And that, I see that like with the devil and the emperor. It's like, well, then you just, you know, there's no way around this. I just settle for less here. And then you're like a week or two into it, and let's say it's a new job, and then you come home and you have not one, but two other job offers from exactly what it is that you would have loved to have done. Like, it's just like, it's weird, right? It's also that whole energy of, you know, if somebody's ever been trying to get pregnant and then they can't, and then they'll end up adopting. And then no sooner do they adopt, they just start banging out kids like nothing. It's just, there's something here like that. And I want to say, though, that I don't feel like, well, then you won't get the job opportunity. I feel like you will. Like, that's what I feel like. It's just as if it's like, oh my God. You know, like everything feels suddenly lighter. When you feel like, or you felt like, that you had to kind of compromise. And all right, so what is this liberation? What can you activate in your life right now? This is the liberation card itself. Oh boy, there's something here. I see where this goes. This is like, it feels like a major ending to some major relationships. A major ending to some, but it's like activating it. So maybe you've already been through some sort of major endings and major relationships in your life. And it's like activating you here, like liberating you. The Knight of Pentacles. The Page of Swords, Temperance, and the Knight of Wands. Woo! See that? It's like your plan has taken you, and it's like almost time. If you had a plan, some kind of plan here, and it's step by step, you have patterns here. You've got patterns. I feel like there's a pattern that might be breaking. And it does feel like this pattern that's going to be breaking is like being very methodical, very logical, very step by step. Seeing like that you're at point A and you want to get to point, I don't know, Z. I don't remember how many letters are in the alphabet. I don't know, you know, however many there are. So now you're at, it's like you're at X and Y and you're about to approach Z. And when you do, it's not like there's no more plan here. It's just like charging in and kind of breaking down the walls. And you're seeing when you do it, like you're really seeing when you do it with this King of Swords. The King of Swords and the Tower. I'm going to put them together. The Tower. You need to break it down, honey. You need to change it. Like there's something here. Or it's just like, pull yourself out of the rubble. However this is coming through for you. Because if you've been through some major Tower moments here, and you have been through some serious endings here and some very significant relationships, it is time. If you've been taking it slow and steady, it is time to like sprint to the finish line. There you go. Sprint to the finish line. Patterns. The Seven of Cups and the King of Pentacles. This is an interesting pattern because this pattern has something to do with, it could be being confused about what people offer around you, or people being confused about what you have to offer here. And I feel like these are things that are either what people have built up around them or what you have built up. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe the confusion goes back and forth between. This could be some sort of confusion here too. It could even be like a pattern of healing that goes on that you've been working on in terms of authority. Because you have the Devil and the Emperor here. And justice with the Eight of Swords and the Three of Swords. That kind of feels like, well, who gets justice in that? Wanting to break patterns. There could be that too. There could definitely be some energy here of breaking like ancestral patterns. And it has something to do with authority. You're sprinting to the finish line at this point. The Four of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles. Whoa, you're healing here from, yeah, this is a significant relationship. This is a significant relationship, but this could be someone that you haven't seen in a while as well, with the Five of Pentacles. This could be, you know, recognizing that when we're at this pattern too, because this is all about patterns, is in this little area, is how we feel in certain relationships. And in like recognizing, honestly recognizing like, what is that healthy for me or is that not healthy for me? The Seven of Pentacles. Wow, the Nine of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, and the Four of Wands. Oh, Lord. What is this? This looks like a pattern of relationships. Now, I feel like who I'm talking to with what I'm about to say right now, these are people that have been through major breakups. Like whether these are common law relationships, actual legal marriages, they could be business partnerships as well. But it's like coming off on the other side of ending those things. And then having to like have a very long and steady plan to create some sort of prosperity, singular abundance for yourself, sovereignty. I'll tell you right now, you're going towards some sort of, the universe is taking you somewhere and it's pretty good. And it could, for some of you, it could be another relationship here. That's, if you're still like in a deep pattern of healing, I want to say this is like a long-term projection, because this is showing up on the table more like someone who's done a very long process in healing here. So the Six of Swords, where it's taking you to the Four of Wands, the Chariot. The universe is taking you to a point here. It's like getting your momentum going. And once that happens, it's kind of up to you to keep it going. But the universe is getting your momentum going. It's taking you in a direction that you're meant to go. And then you're kind of really meant to make some choices over there, wherever that is. But it's like sprinting to the finish line. But this finish line feels like it's a healing pattern. And look at this. Yeah, like you're just like glowing too. You might be kind of glowing. The Two of Wands and the Four of Cups. What are you dreaming of here? Or maybe this is what some of your dreams have projected for you. Because this Four of Cups here, how this block shapes the course of your life, you have the Devil and the Emperor. Be careful for what you wish for. Say that. You're sprinting to the finish line there, Leo. I'm going to go do the extended. In the extended, I think I'm going to use the Oracle of the Radiant Sun deck. What do we have here? You have discrimination. This is like being like very discerning as well, though. There is a sense of transformation with this energy. It's Venus in Virgo. So I do want to also say, like, if for this final part of the reading, if some of you have been in relationships in the past and you've done a lot of healing, you are going in a new direction here, and you have choices in new relationships for you, but use your discernment. You know, that's what the universe is saying. We're taking you there, and it's up to you to choose, you know, kind of what you want. But just remember what you project. This reminded me too, like, kind of wish for happiness. Somebody else said in one of the comments, when I mentioned that, like, wish for happiness and the universe will take care of other, you know, everything that needs to be taken care of. And because the universe understands what happiness is for you. And happiness is peace. Because somebody said you should just wish for peace. But I don't know. I guess it depends. It just could just be like definition of words. Because to me, it's very similar. Like being happy and being at peace are kind of like the same thing to me. So you're going to get one or the other. So do whatever feels right for you. But instead of saying like, I want health or I want prosperity, if those are a given for your happiness or your peace, then it gets provided for, right? So we're going to use this Oracle of the Radiant Sun. In your extended, it's just an open reading in the extended, so we're just going to see what comes out for you over there. Thank you so much, Pussycat Nation. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.